Alright, so welcome back everybody. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about the bat strategy. Now the bat strategy is one of my most favorite strategies, because I love bats. But the bat strategy, even with the Forest Alpine expansion, isn't super powerful. You still need to combine it with other strategies. So with that said, I've actually picked the best cards from other strategies that work well with the bat strategy. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about the amphibian strategy as well. The bat strategy and the amphibian strategy, they work really well together, so they're combined for this video. That means I won't be doing a separate amphibian strategy video because, like I said, they both work really well with the strategy. I'm also including part of the insect strategy in this equation, and maybe potentially a micro version of the bird strategy with this strategy as well. So like I said, but the micro bird strategy and the insect or the micro insect strategies, they're just, like I said, micro. They're not a big part of this strategy. They're just something extra that will work really well with the bat strategy. So let's get started. So with the bats, in order to score points with them, you have to have at least 3 different species of bats. Now, there's always at least 3 of each bat, and with the original version, there were 4 different species, so it was still fairly easy to get 3 of the 4 species into your forest, right? But with the Forest Alpine expansion, we add a brand new bat, and that is this one, the Savvy's pipistrelle. So now, instead of having 4, we have 5 different species of bats, making it a little bit easier to get 3 different species of bats. Of course, once you have 3 different species of bats, that doesn't mean you can't get more bats. I love bats, so get more bats. So that way you can make all of your bats worth 5 points at the end of the game, right? So yes, the bat strategy is a good one. Now, one of the best cards to get with this strategy, it's not a must-have, but it's almost a must-have, is the gnat. Now, the gnat lets you play any number of bats you have for free. So if you have 4 bats, you get to play 4 of them for free, which is awesome, right? Or if you have more, you get to play more of them for free. So it's a good one. I usually wait until I have at least 3 different species of bats, so that way I'm scoring all 3 right away, right? I'm basically getting those points for assured, right? And that's one of the things. Now, like I said, it's not a must-have, and it's not smart just to wait for this gnat to show up. But if you can get this gnat early, and you have yourself a bat or 2, you might be tempted to wait a little longer to get yourself another bat. And that certainly wouldn't hurt, but maybe if you're lucky, you might get another gnat, because there's 3 of these in the game. Now, the gnats are worth a few points for every bat you have, but they're not going to be worth that much. So it's not going to score you a lot of points, but it is going to help you get those bats played a whole lot easier because you get to play them all for free, which is awesome, okay? Now, if you are able to play yourself a gnat, the tree frog is going to be always a good strategy to include with the bat strategy because you get 5 points for every gnat you have. But it is an amphibian, so it's going to help you with this strategy because we're including the amphibian strategy, the entire amphibian strategy to this equation. So this is a good card that's going to help with that. Then, if you manage to get yourself a fire salamander, it lets you play a paw animal for free. And there is one paw animal that is perfect for the bat strategy, and that is the European fat dormouse. It's worth 15 points if it occupies a tree with a bat. Now, remember, these dormice, there's only 4 of them in the game, and they all share space with a bat. So you might be tempted to play your bats early if you have this, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't. But remember, for every one of these bats you play that have a dormouse on the other side, that means the least amount of these you'll be able to play, and trust me, you're going to want to at least play 2 of these for a lot of points. You're going to at least want to play 2 if you can. 1 is ideal. 2, you definitely want to try to play, for sure. So make a mental note of that you might not want to play your bats and waste this dormouse 2 at the same time, okay? So that's another really good card with the bat strategy, and that's always been a really good card with the bat strategy. Then, since you are probably going to go the amphibian strategy with your bat strategy, the tree ferns are going to score you 6 points for every amphibian you have. So that tree frog is already getting you 6 points for this. This is already getting you 6 points for that tree frog. I mean, for that tree frog. So that's good, or that salamander for that matter, right? So you could get a lot of points that way. Your tree frog could score your ferns some points. That fire salamander could do it. So you've already got a couple of amphibians that work really well with the bat strategy that are giving you a lot of points for this tree fern. But then, because we're going to include that strategy, we also want to talk about the other amphibians. But first and foremost, we want to talk about this new card. This is the blueberry. Now, this one lets you play an amphibian for free. So that's amazing. Now, what's a good amphibian you could play for free? Well, that tree frog that we talked about, that's a good one you could play for free, for instance. Another good one you could play for free is going to be the pond turtle. This is an expensive play. It costs 2 just to get 5 points. But if you can play it for free, that's even better, right? So the blueberry could let you play the pond turtle for free, but that's another amphibian that could score you some extra points with your tree ferns, for instance. It does let you draw a card if you do end up just paying the cost, but I don't think that is worth it, in my opinion, just for 5 additional points. But yeah, like I said, the blueberry at least makes it more appetizing, for sure. Another good card you could play for free with the blueberry is the common toad, because they're free to play. And since you need 2 of them in the same spot to score 5 points for each, that's still good. But once again, 2 more common toads means 12 more points for that tree ferns. And then with the alpine expansion comes the alpine newt. Now this is another amphibian, so it's going to help you score points based on that, right? But it lets you play an alpine card for free, and it also lets you play an insect for free, which we talked about in an earlier video. What's a good card for this strategy? Well, if you're going to play an alpine card for free, the golden eagle is a good card to play for free with this, because it's going to score you points based on the amount of amphibians you have. And you might have a dormouse or 2, right? So you might get a couple extra points that way as well. Who knows what else you could potentially have, right? So that's awesome. But it's also going to score your points based on the number of insects you have. So if you're going the bat strategy, you might have yourself a gnat. So that's 2 points already if you have a gnat, right? 2 points for that, which isn't very much, but 2 points for that newt already, which means you might want to get some more insects, like these fireflies. This is another good strategy to include as well, because they're easy to play, and they can give you some points, and they can give you the newt here some extra points that way as well. The violet carpenter bee is another good insect to play, and one of the best trees to play is the horse chestnut for this strategy. It's one of the best trees you can play with this strategy. Not only that, but that violet carpenter bee is also going to help you score some additional points on the tree, as well as with your newt, for instance, as well. And then, for instance, this bullfinch is going to score you 2 points based on your insects, so that might be a good card to play in addition if you're going this route. Now, because you are potentially going to play the bullfinch, and because you are potentially going to play the golden eagle with this strategy, that's 2 different birds. And with that said, there was a card we didn't quite talk about. This blueberry scores you 2 points for every different bird you have. So while this is going to be extremely useful for the bird strategy, this could still score you a few points with the bat strategy as well. It could score you a few points. Of course, if you try to include the bird strategy with this strategy too, that would be swell as well. But that's how this bat strategy is going to work. These are the best cards that will work with the bat strategy. So I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you guys again in the next one.